Hey guys, and welcome back to my podcast. I actually started this, I want to say a year ago. I think it was maybe the beginning of October. I remember it was a little bit before my birthday, which is the 19th of October. So yeah, I want to say it was the beginning of October. I was really excited. I was really nervous. I was awkward. If you listen to my first podcast episode, I feel like you can tell that I was really anxious about it. My voice was kind of shaking, my heart was racing, I had to restart it like a million times. That's the thing, you're kind of just talking in one take, and it's really easy to go off on a tangent or lose your train of thought. So please bear with me. I haven't done this in a while. I'm going to do my very best for you guys. I feel like I have so much to talk to you guys about. So I have some lemon balm tea with me. I'm sitting in my yoga room / office. It's actually coming along really nicely. I feel like there's still a lot that I need to do in here, but I'm happy with how it is so far. I actually have a desk to work at, which is whoa, because usually I would just be working on the couch. So I'm really grateful about that. What is the time right now? It's 7:10 in the evening, and it's already starting to get dark. So it's that time of year. Fall is almost upon us. I am actually totally okay with that because I feel like I've had my full of summer. I love the sun, don't get me wrong. I'm from Cape Town, I'm from South Africa, where it's beautiful sunshine for most of the year. But I just love this fall weather. I love it when there's a chill in the air. I just find it so cozy, and it makes me want to watch movies and drink cozy hot chocolate and just be cozy. I'm all about they actually call it hygge. Have you heard of that? You spell it Hygge. I never knew how to say that. I was like higgy, but it's actually called hygge, and it's just all about being cozy and creating a space at home that you just want to be in, and having family over and loved ones over, and not really going out so much just because you create such a cozy place at home. So I'm all about those hygge vibes. I'm all about just dim lighting and candles and hot chocolate, and that's probably why I love this time of year. In Cape Town, where I'm from, my birthday was always in the springtime, and I love that. I love spring as well. I seem to love spring and fall. Those are my two favorite seasons, but I've really started to fall in love with fall. As you can hear, I'm going off on a whole nother thing right now. I actually just wanted to check in with you guys. I wanted to just kind of just say hi again and let you know that I'm starting my podcast all over again. I have some exciting ideas. I want to this time get some people on here with me and kind of interview some amazing people. I've made some truly incredible connections on Instagram. I mean, guys, last year this time, our community, I think there were maybe 1,000 of us. No, I'm lying. Yeah, I think there were 1,000 of us, and within a year, our community has grown I can't even believe. I have been so excited and so grateful, and I've just honestly met some amazing people. There's literally thousands of us, and it's so exciting. So I just wanted to touch base. How have the past few months been for you? I know that this year has just, this whole year I feel has just been one thing after the other. When this whole quarantine happened, it was just insane. I remember my mom, because she really keeps up with the news. If there's one thing that I really try to avoid, it's the news. When I used to watch the news a lot, I would get very it would really intensify my anxiety. I'm always bitching at my mom and put the news off, because she's always keeping up with it. But whenever there's something happening, I will get my news from my mom, because like I said, she keeps up with the news, and then she'll sorry guys, I just stopped because it looked like I wasn't recording now. So, oh my God, like as you can tell, weird shit like this happens when you're on a podcast. If I was just quiet for a second, forgive me. Yeah, things are getting awkward up in here. So anyway, as I was saying, my mom kind of keeps me updated with the news, and I remember my mom telling me about the virus in January, and like telling me about how it was in like China at the time, and she was saying like, oh, they should be so careful because it's gonna spread if they don't start doing something. And everyone was just kind of like, mom, like, she's just being a mom, right? But then 2 months later, this whole thing happened, and my mom was like, like, see, what did I tell you guys? I remember my girlfriend's mom and her friend were actually in Vegas at the time, when we had like a law come into place where if you've come from out of the country, you have to self-isolate for 14 days, and not be around your family or anyone and not go out. So they actually got back and stayed in her sister's apartment, and her sister came and stayed with us for those 2 weeks. It was actually really great. We had a fun time. But it was crazy. Like, I feel like it just happened so fast. Like, first you're kind of just hearing about it, and then all of a sudden, like, you're being told to like stay at home, like you can't go out, like all the stores are closed. Like, it was insane. And like, as someone with an anxiety disorder, and I know that you can relate to this if you struggle too, it really is something that I feel like really intensified a lot of people's anxiety. A lot of people that have never struggled with anxiety or depression or any like mental health issues found themselves struggling with depression and anxiety for the first time ever. And I've had so many people, and I continue to have people message me and let me know that they've honestly never experienced anxiety or depression in their life. And since this whole pandemic, they're dealing with like all these weird symptoms. They feel depressed. They're dealing with health anxiety. That's a big one. If you already struggle with health anxiety, I feel like this pandemic has only intensified that. If you're already someone who obsesses over symptoms, and I truly know how that is. Oh, it fucking sucks. If you're someone that obsesses over symptoms, I feel like this pandemic has only made that a million times worse. Like I said, people that didn't even know what health anxiety was, like have found themselves dealing with health anxiety. If you don't know the term health anxiety, it was formerly known as hypochondria, which is something you may be more familiar with. I actually have a blog post up on my website about this, and I made a post about health anxiety on my Instagram probably about a week ago by the time you guys listen to this. And I could not believe the number of people that were not just commenting, but that were sending me messages that didn't want to like come into the comments, and were just letting me know that health anxiety is something that rules their entire life. And I just realized that it's something that I need to talk about so much more, just because I myself has struggled with it so much in the past. I feel like health anxiety has been something that's been with me for honestly as long as I can remember. I can remember being like, I want to say like 7 years old. Like, I'm not even joking. And being really short of air. To be honest with you, like while I'm talking to you guys, I'm actually a little bit short of air. If I go quiet, it's because I'm literally trying to breathe. I've found that I've been a little bit anxious all day today for some reason. My heart's just been a bit fast. I've been a bit short of breath, but that's just how anxiety works sometimes. Sometimes we can't explain it. But I remember being 7 years old and like being really short of air and telling my mom like I like feel like I can't breathe. And my brother has struggled with it. My mom has struggled with it. My dad thinks we're all crazy. No, I'm just kidding. My dad is like, I would say, the lucky one, but he has seen all of us struggle. I remember my brother and I going to the doctor. I must have been about like 15, and my brother was like 9 or 10 at the time. And both of us were like super short of breath. And my mom was like, that's it, I'm gonna take you guys to the doctor, like let's just see what's going on. Like we literally felt like we couldn't breathe, and we were like gasping for air. So I remember we went to the doctor. We had an amazing doctor in South Africa, and we had to do like this test where you breathe into a thing, and then the doctor will tell you if you have like signs of asthma or anything. And I think my brother had like mild asthma. But me, the doctor was like, you're totally fine. And it turned out to be like, he just told me it was like my nerves, like I'm nervous. But I didn't really, like, I didn't know anything about anxiety at the time. So I just thought, oh, like maybe I'm nervous about something. Like I didn't know like how anxiety works. I just always thought of myself as like a nervous person. Like I tend to be more nervous than the average person. But yeah, like that was, I mean, so at 7 years old already, I feel like I was dealing with that symptom. And there's been many, many more, and that's a whole nother podcast in itself. I do talk about it on my Instagram, and I do talk about it on my blog. But yeah, I think a lot of people are just dealing with a lot of health anxiety, a lot of stress right now, a lot of anxiety in general, and panic attacks. That's another one that is just awful. So yeah, so I just wanted to I don't want this to be like a whole long thing. I tend to go off on a tangent and I can talk forever. I just wanted to come in here, see how you guys are doing, like see how the past few months have been for you. Like let me know. Like I would love to know like how they've been. Come comment on my Instagram, send me a DM. I try to get through my DMs. That's something that since we've grown, it's just really hard for me to get back to every single DM, but I do try to read them all at least. Yeah, so I plan on really starting up this podcast again. Kind of my plans for the rest of the year is that I just want to get going with my podcast. Oh my god, and do you see what happens when you, like, I totally forgot to even mention this. Just in case you knew, but if you've been with me for a while, then you probably like already know this, or maybe you've even read it. But during quarantine, I actually wrote a book. Like I can't believe that I was gonna forget to mention that. It was something that I had little notes and things that I had saved, just kind of like on my computer, and for like a long time, like a few years. Some of the bits in that book I had on my computer for a few years, but I wasn't really sure what to do with it. Like I just knew that every now and then I like had this urge to just like write, like just kind of write about like what I was going through. And yeah, then during the quarantine, like we had so much time on our hands, like you guys know, and we weren't able to go to our stores, we weren't really able to go out, and I was like, you know what, I think I'm going to take this time and I think I'm going to try and turn all those notes into a book. And I put my phone down every morning. I left it in another room so I wouldn't be tempted to like sit and scroll, and you know how it goes on social media. And I just wrote, like every morning for a few hours every day, I just like kept writing, like adding onto my notes, putting it all together, putting it in order, and a book came out of it. And I must just tell you that like I was very unsure about it. Like I feel like when you're doing something like like you question yourself a lot when you're doing something. Like I didn't have anyone's input. Like I would show my girlfriend bits of it, but she has never really struggled severely with an anxiety disorder. She has experienced depression and anxiety and things, but she hasn't really experienced anxiety, and I didn't really have anyone that's really experienced anxiety except my mom. And I mean, she read it and was like, oh, this is amazing, like I really relate to this. But I mean, it's my mom. Like I feel like I had to get like another opinion. Like I just felt like my mom would be like nice to me and kind to me, and I like still second guess myself a lot. But I like kind of put it out there on my stories on Instagram, and I chatted to you guys, and I just let you guys know that I want to write a book. And the response was so positive and so supportive and so amazing that I felt inspired and I felt motivated, and I just did it. I just did the damn thing. And I wrote a book, and it's still amazing and exciting, and I just feel so like grateful that I have this book. And I remember like saying that if I put this book out there and one person can relate to like my story and the things that I'm sharing, like that will be enough for me, like one person. And I've already had like so many amazing messages and reviews, and I promise you, like my girlfriend is so sick of me because I get so like emotional. Like when I read this review the other day, and this girl was telling me how it like changed her whole life. Like oh, like, whoa, like that just means absolutely everything to me. And my girlfriend is, I'm sure she is fed up of me just like crying and being emotional and sappy, but truly it means so, so, so much to me. As my community has grown, I have found myself discouraged at times because, like, I'm not really sure how to word this. I'm not even really sure how to say it, but uh, I mean, I've made some amazing connections on Instagram, but one thing that I have noticed is that a lot of pages are very, I don't want to say obsessed. They're very like focused on growth, and they're very focused on followers, and they're very focused on numbers. And it's like when you like have conversations with some people, it's like that's what they talk about, like their numbers, like, oh, I have this many followers and like you should aim for getting this many. And like it's great and it's exciting, don't get me wrong, and I've truly like met some amazing people, but I started to get discouraged because when I started my page, that was not the reason that I started my page. I didn't start my page because I want followers or I want to make money or like anything like that. I didn't have a book to sell when I started my page. I had nothing. Like I was actually struggling with money, to be honest. I was really struggling at the time, like freelancing, trying to get clients. We would go through months with just like a lot of stress over money. But that didn't stop me from continuing to just keep up with my page and like put stuff out there, because my page was not about that. My page was not about, oh, I have to sell something. Oh, I have to get this many followers. Oh, like it was not about that. Like I had 1,000 or under 1,000 followers, and I was just happy to create content for those people in my community. These people that are so supportive of me, that look forward to my content. And then obviously it's been amazing to grow and like meet so many more people and feel like I'm helping more people, like you guys help me you just as much. Like I have days where I'm anxious, and then when I go back and read comments on certain posts, that helps me too. Or like just messages that I get, like supportive, kind, like just caring. And as I've started to grow, I've just noticed like there's just been this obsession with like growth. And I'll have people messaging me and being like, and they don't follow me. I've never heard from this person before, and they'll just be like, like, give me a shout out. Like, give me a shout out. Like, I actually got this message recently from someone saying like, I need you to promote my page. Like, please remember that you used to be small too until like people helped you. And I was like, hold up. Like, to be honest with you, I didn't even reply. Like, that's something that I've like started to just stop replying to messages like that. But no one helped me grow my page. Like, I did not pay anyone. Yes, as I started to grow, like some bigger accounts did take notice of some of my posts and wanted to share it on their page. Like, they liked the content, wanted to share it. No one paid me. I mean, yeah, no one paid me, and I haven't paid anyone. And I just found myself getting discouraged because I was getting messages like that, and I just found like the focus was just too much on growth. Like, one thing that I always say is that it doesn't matter how many followers you have, like those are still people. Like right now there's like, I don't even know the exact number. We have 60,000 something followers on Instagram, and I say our because we're a community together. Like you and me and all of us, like we're in this together. Like I wouldn't have this community without you guys. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I'm the leader, like you guys follow me. Like we're in this together. And that's how I see our community. And I was just losing motivation because I feel like I was just interacting with too many people who were just so focused on growth and numbers and not genuinely caring about the people that are in their community. It's more just about, I'm like up here and like I have all these followers, and it just kind of pissed me off, to be honest with you. So I actually took a step back for a little bit, and I just kind of reassessed. And this is another thing, like as you grow, like people will message you and like ask you about like your analytics, like how many saves are you getting on your post, like how many likes, and like you'll see all these posts like, oh, within the first 10 minutes of posting something you should have this many likes and this many comments. And like it's just a shitty thing. Like I don't want to be thinking about that. Like I want to just create stuff and put stuff out there because I want to, because I love it and I want to share it with you guys and I want it to be helpful. And there's some things that I share that may not be as popular as certain other posts, but I put it out there because I love it. And I feel like that's the best thing to do. You have to put things out there that you love, that's your passion, and people will feel that. So I feel like I'm getting kind of passionate on this subject now. I just wanted you guys to know why. If you follow me on my stories, you'll like, for a while it was kind of just very like, I kept like saying to you guys, like, I'm just not feeling productive, I'm not feeling motivated, and that was a big part of it. I've gone on kind of like a little unfollowing spree on Instagram, and I'm gonna kind of do it again, and I just really try to make sure that I follow accounts that like mean something to me, whose message I just really appreciate, who share like genuinely helpful content. And those are the type of people that I want to get on my podcast to chat with me and to interview, and we can just chat about things with you guys. So that's kind of the goal with my podcast. I also like obviously want to get you guys involved, and if you have any questions or any topics or things that you want me to talk on, like, I want to know from you guys. I actually just put a thing up on my story today asking you guys that. I just want us to always feel involved. Like, I want you to always feel like you're like genuinely part of this community. Like, that's how I want you to feel. Like, that was my goal with this page. When I was really struggling with anxiety, I felt completely fucking isolated. I felt like I would look up like forums online, which would sometimes help me because, you know, people would be discussing symptoms and things in there, and I'd feel like, okay, I'm not alone. But the thing is, with like Googling and like searching the internet, is that you often end up in some scary, weird places where you're being told your symptoms are this thing or that thing, and it freaks you out. Or a lot of the forums that I ended up on was people kind of just like encouraging and pushing medication on each other, which is fine. And that's another thing. I try to not talk about medication too much on my page because some people get crazy about it. If you're on medication, that is fine. I'm not judging you. I was on medication. I took medication for the better part of a year, but I did realize that it was not something that was for me. I don't even know what I'm saying right now. Like, why did I even start talking about medication? I'm just being honest with you guys. I could just like pause this or end this here, but I like genuinely have forgotten what I'm saying. Oh yeah, see, I remember. If this is the weirdest podcast that you've ever listened to, then I'm sorry, but I'm just being honest and weird and awkward, and that's just who I am. So I hope you don't mind. I would often end up in forums where people were pushing medication on each other, and that was just something that just kind of dragged me down a little bit. But so that I remember when I was struggling, like I would always be looking for a place like this, like my page that I've created. Like, I would have loved a place like that for myself when I was struggling. So I try to create something that I would have wanted, that would have helped me back then, to try and help you right now if you're struggling. And I feel like we are really achieving that. I feel like I'm just excited. I'm just happy with my page. I'm excited. I want to just ignore any negativity, ignore any things that don't feel like they're like pushing me forward in a good way, and just focus on you guys that are here right now, you guys that like look forward to my content, that are listening to me right now, that maybe look forward to my future podcast episodes, that are just supportive and just always here. Like, it's you guys that I'm focused on. So that's kind of my goal for the rest of the year. I also have started up my blog again because the Instagram captions, there's only so much you can say before you totally run out of space. So I've been kind of taking the captions and then expanding on them into making them into blog posts. Like the health anxiety one, I feel like I just had so much to say on that, so I made that into a blog post. And then before I love and leave you, one more thing is my physical book is currently on its way to me in the mail. It can take 5 to 10 days to get here. Once it's here, I am going to proudly show you guys on my stories. I can't wait to show you guys. I'm so excited to see it myself. I just need to get that book and have a look over and just make sure I'm happy with everything. And once I feel like it's good, which could be like by the end of this week or next week already, then it will be officially ready for you guys to purchase. So I can't wait for that. I know that some of you guys are waiting. Like, I myself know what it's like. Like, I prefer like a physical book over an ebook, I'll be honest. I'm a bookworm. Like, I love holding a book in my hand. So I do understand there are many of you guys that are waiting for the physical book over the ebook. Yeah, and it's also nice to give as a gift. I know some people are actually waiting to give it as a gift, which is amazing. Like, something I created is going to be given as a gift. Like, that is just amazing to me. And that's also nice. So obviously, if it's the physical versus, the ebook and getting an email. So I'm really excited about that. I will let you know as soon as it's ready. I just wanted to come on here, say hi, just get the podcast started again, like get the ball rolling. I am not 100% sure of my podcast schedule right now. I was thinking kind of like maybe the beginning of every month, I just sit down with you guys, and then maybe the end of every month we do like an interview. Like, I'm not sure if I want to do like a weekly thing or like twice a month. That's something that I'm still kind of deciding. Yeah, and I would say that's practically it for now. I am going to go and enjoy the rest of my tea. I made some lemon balm. It really helps when you're anxious. I'm not sure if I told you guys at the beginning of this about my tea, but just in case I didn't, it's really good for just anxiety. It calms you down. It helps you to sleep. So I'm going to go drink that. I have been finding that I've been having a bit of anxiety symptoms today. I've been kind of short of breath all day, and my heart's been racing a little bit. So I'm going to go sit back, take a break. I feel like I've done everything I need to for the day, and I feel like I've ended the day off nicely by just coming in here and chatting to you guys. So I just want to say thank you for being here. Follow me on Instagram if you want to stay updated. I'll let you guys know in there how the podcast schedule is going to work and like how often I'm going to be doing that. And also, like, you'll know on there when the next one is up and ready for you to listen to. So thank you guys so much for being here with me. I appreciate each and every single one of you guys. I truly mean that, and I don't say that lightly. I look forward to chatting to you guys again soon, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day or night whenever you're listening to this. Bye, guys.